By the end of this week, we're hoping that our fourth graders will be able to do the following. We want you to be able to multiply and divide by 10 and 100. We'd like you to have basic facts knowledge, your multiplication facts. So far, we are expecting you to know zeros all the way up to at least your tens. We know that you had a lack of time in third grade, so we will help you along with that. But we are hoping that you guys are practicing at home, hopefully using some of my multiplication facts practice sites or using flashcards that you have at home. If you don't have any plan in action to know your basic facts, we're really needing you guys to do that. This will be something that we expect both in-seat and virtual students to know, right off the bat. So if you don't know your basic facts, that's one homework assignment we would like you to have each night. If you need some practice sheets or websites to go to, just let me know. I know there are some on Google Classroom. The next thing we want you to know is the place and place value. The place of a number is where it is on a place value chart, ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, and so on. And the place value is what a number is worth in a number, what a digit is worth in a number. The big lesson that we really want to end with this week so that you can leave this week knowing is the 10 times rule of place value. So let's go ahead and get started. By the end of this lesson, I'll show this again to you so that you know what is expected and are reminded. First thing we're going to do is start off by multiplying by 10 and 100. And there's a little bit of a glare. Hold on. Okay, that's a little bit better. Get that guy out of the way. Okay. When you multiply by 10 and 100, you're working with a lot of zeros here. So let's start with 10 times 3. Well, I know 1 times 3 is 3. So 10 times 3 is 30. I know 1 times 7 is 7. So 10 times 7 is 70. And last here in this row, I have 10 times 5. So 1 times 5 is 5. And 10 times 5 is 50. So really, when you are multiplying by 10, really all you're doing is adding a 0 at the end of your number. Over here, something very similar. We have 2 times 4. Well, I know 2 times 4 is 8. So 2 times 40 is, you're going to start it off the same, but just attach this 0 on 2. 2 times 400, you're going to work that out the same way. Sorry, I'm cutting it off a little bit there. Okay. On the bottom here, this is another example of a problem that you'll do this year. And the reason I did this one is because there's an extra 0 here. Because 5 times 6 is 30. That has nothing to do with our place value. It's just that 5 times 6 really does equal 30. But just remember, when you do 5 times 60, don't forget your original 0 in there to begin with. 5 times 6 is 30. 5 times 60 is 300. So add your extra 0 here. Likewise, we have 5 times 600. That would be 3,000. Okay, so just to review, when you have a digit times 10 or times a multiple of 10, however many zeros there are in the problem, that's how many zeros there are going to be in the end, as long as those zeros are in the ones or tens or hundreds place. So multiplying by 10 and by 100. Okay, so the next thing I want you guys to know is your basic facts. This isn't something that I'm going to take the time to do right now, but I just wanted to remind you that if you don't know your multiplication facts, let's get those practiced. Okay, we've got to get websites going. We've got to get flashcards going. Place and place value, I showed you in one of my previous videos, but I will just go ahead and quickly review place and place value. All right, we're just going to get a 5-digit number on here, 35,173. Okay, so here we have our ones, our tens, and our hundreds place. This is our ones family. Our ones period is what it's called. And we have our ones and tens. Actually, why don't I just go ahead and make this a bigger number in hundreds? So again, just like in one of my previous videos, every single period of numbers has ones, tens, hundreds. It's just that the periods are named something different. This is the thousands period. I could have cut that off. It still does count, but I just wanted you to see the pattern there. So 735,173 is how you say this number. It's very important that you know your place and place value. So the place of a number is the words here. Okay, is it in the 5 is in the 1,000s place. So if I were to list where that 5 is, we're going to say the thousands place. It's okay if you want to write 1,000, but 1,000 also works. The place value of the 5 is a number. So it's the worth of the number. Since the 5 is in the 1,000s place, 5 times 1,000 is 5,000. So that's to review place and place value. So far we've done multiplication of 10 by 10 and 100. We've kind of talked about our basic facts. We know where a number is and what it's worth. I haven't forgotten about the division part of this up here. That'll come later. What we're really going to dig into right now is the times 10 rule of place value. Okay. So what I want to do is kind of show you on a number here. I'm just going to go with a number with all of the same numbers, all of the same digits. All right, so I've got 7s in all of my places. We've got 7s in our 1s place, in our 10s place, in our 100s place, and then in our 1,000s place. Once again, I always like to kind of draw this as our little family. Okay, this is 1,000s, not just ones. So keep that in mind. And as I move to the left, you can see the value does get a little bit different. Let me clean this up a little bit. So the value of the 7 here is 7. The value of this 7, since it's in the tens place, is 7 times 10, which is 70. In other words, as we move to the left, we get 10 times greater. Okay. The value of this 7, since it's in the hundreds place and it's 7 times 100, is worth 700. So again, that's times 10. If you multiplied 70 times 10, you would get 700. And last on this number, we're going to multiply by 10. Again, the value of that 7 is 7,000. So as you can see, as you scoot to the left, the number gets bigger. And you multiply by 10. Likewise, and I told you I would get to this eventually, here I go. If I had moved to that side, if I moved to the right, I don't know why I just erased that because I actually need that back up there. That's okay. We actually divide by 10 each time. So when you divide, the numbers get smaller. So multiplying, the numbers get bigger, or the word greater is like what we like to use. When we divide, the numbers get less or lesser. Okay. So you're dividing by 10 each time. Divide by 10. 700 divided by 10 is 70. 70 divided by 10 is 7. So that is the 10 times greater concept in this example. Let me show you on a pre-made paper that I created just to give it a little bit more clarity. The times 10 rule of place value. It's still using 7s, but I have it, a little more organized and written a little more clearly for you. But you can see this is a 7. Its value is 7. It's in the ones place. Here's a 7, but the value is bigger because it's in the tens place, so it's 70. As you move to the left, the number gets 10 times greater. As you move to the right, the number gets 10 times less. So let's do a couple of examples here. I want to do a multiple choice question with you. This is, again, the 10 times rule of place value that this lesson will cover really for the whole 4 days that we're in school this week. Here we go. Which number below has a digit in the thousands place that is 10 times greater than the digit in the hundreds place. So what we need to do right now is we need to, first of all, we need to know our place value. Once again, we have the knowledge of where a number is and what it's worth. So right now we're looking for where the number is. Where is the hundreds place? Where is the thousands place? These are the two that we really want to concentrate on. So again, thousands place, hundreds place. And, one thing I did not mention to you guys, but when we are looking at our 10 times greater rule, we actually want to follow two different kind of guidelines, I would say. The first one is when we're looking at this to see if it applies, the 10 times rule of place value. Are the two digits the same? Two digits are the same. I'll cover that here in just a second. And are they next to each other? This is how you know that a number will follow the 10 times greater rule. Okay? Are the two digits the same, and are they next to each other? So back to my problem that I was giving to you. Okay? It says which number below has a digit in the thousands place? Well, we're looking for the thousands place for a digit to be the same as a digit in the hundreds place. So this part is pretty easy. Look at letter A. We have a 1 in the thousands place, but look, we have a 0 in the hundreds place. It can't be A because, again, it doesn't follow our rule. Two digits are the same? Nope. Okay. B. Well, I see two digits are the same, so that does follow this rule, but are they next to each other? Oh, they sure are. Oh, but look back up here in our directions. This is very specific. It's telling us thousands and hundreds place. Well, this is our thousands place, and that's our hundreds place. So even though we have three digits that are the same, they're not right next to each other, and they're not in the place that they're giving us up here. Moving along to letter C. We have two 5s here. I see a 5 in the thousands place. I see a 5 in the hundreds place. So guess what? We found our answer because 500 is 10 times less than 5,000. Another way you could say that is 5,000 is 10 times greater than 500. So it is letter C. We are going to look at this one just to be sure. We always do that on multiple choice questions. We want to make sure we've made the right choice. We've got a 4 here in the thousands place, and we have a 3 here in the hundreds place. That is not the answer. This is just one example of a question you might be asked later on in our unit. And the last question I wanted to introduce to you is a statement about our 10 times rule of place value. We can see that we have a number that does have the rules. Two digits are the same. We've got two 6s here. They are the same. And yes, they are right next to each other. So this does count as part of this unit. Okay, in the number 42,566,893, again, it's just the number that I have up here. The 6 in the 10,000s place, there's the 10,000s place, is blank times then the 6 in the thousands place. We need to fill in these blanks with the appropriate answers. So in the number 42,566,893, the 6 in the 10,000s place is 10 times greater than the 6 in the thousands place. That would just be an example of a statement that you would make if you were trying to compare the place value in this concept. So, ladies and gentlemen, one last time, by the end of this week, I will need you to know how to multiply by 10 and 100 and divide. I need you to get on those basic facts. I need you to know where a number is in the place value chart and what its worth is. And then last but not least, the big meat of the lesson this week is the 10 times rule of place value.